Hello and welcome back. This is part 2 of the 4-part series on pulling some data from a ChemCAD file, or at least its properties file. I checked. Yes, it is this VicTemCAD simulation data. You'll notice we're not in Google Colab. What's going on? What horrendous end is this world coming to? Well, the answer was regular expressions, a fate worse than chess, but probably better than death. Because, obviously, I couldn't read that mess. I mean, I can, but I don't like reading it, so I'm choosing not to. The machine can read it. It just needs some help. So, I'd like to read this in Python, the Python flavor, please. And we're going to start using a regular expression. Now, what that means is it's a fancy way of digging through string and going through a whole bunch of, it looks like classic, you know, you mash your hands on the keyboard and got something legible. I use legible very liberally here. It's not legible, it's a garble of characters. But they're all important, simple characters that tell us what to do. So, first thing, I took a hat, and a bit of a backslash there, and an S. So what that tells me is I'd like it to start the new line and some white space characters. But not just one. I'd like many white space characters, please. Just keep giving them to me. As many as you can give me. That's what that plus means. It means at least one. Beyond that, go ham. So, now, we actually need to capture, as it's called, some data from this, so we actually pull in information. So, we're going to capture ready. We've captured nothing. It's empty. As you'll notice, 26 to 26. 26 position. There's literally nothing there. It's an empty, it's a null, it's a none, it's nothing. Not even a space. So I'd actually like a character here, please. So I'd like some multiple items. And so we'll go to the brackets for. I think a single character is A, B, or C. But actually I'd like a backslash W, which indicates, you know, I'd like any word character. Any of these. A through Z, capital A through capital Z, any of the numbers, maybe an underscore for feeling adventurous. A space, and maybe a backslash again, a forward slash, and a period. I don't know why the period. We might run into a period somewhere. For example, mean average with that dot, boiling point. But right now, it's oh, we also need to keep in mind we might run into this slash here. Thing is, we have to actually specify that slash, and slashes do funny things in regular expression patterns. So you usually want to double slash them. So it actually says, "Hey, please find a slash," and not just "Please find a funny character." So indicate it like a word character. I'd like a space. I'd like the other slash, literally the other slash, and maybe a period. But right now, we're only getting S. That's great. That's a start. But that's not going to get us very far. But what if we add a plus? See, now we're getting somewhere. Now we've actually got some words captured, like a simulation. But then, if you look down here for, like, you know, say molecular weight, what's the first one we want to start looking at? Because this will all get, you know, filtered out later. You'll notice is molecular weight and a whole lot of spaces. I don't want those spaces. That's a huge mess. I have to trim them out manually. Or be greedy. I suppose there's too greedy somewhere in there. Okay. Something's going wrong. Right. I forgot something important. At the end of this, I'll actually specify more white space, please. That's not a white space. That's a white space. There. Now it's happy. But I'm not. Because we have in fact gotten the word molecular. But it's seen the space at weight and decided that's where to stop. That's what the question mark means. Is it's a greedy multiple item. It'll take as many letters as it can up until the next one would match. In this case, it's that at least exactly one space. Which is why it hasn't actually found anything for some of these, because H2O doesn't have space. It's a formula, but that's not a word character, so it's dropped it. The spaces do some awkward things. Let's clean it up a bit. We're going to use an extra plus. That way it actually all the spaces, and also you'll need to find, and this is the one that makes it work, and just all not hate ourselves, a colon. Much better. So what that says is, at the start of the line, please find at least one white space character, and then get a capture group. That's what those these parentheses mean. And then we have a group of characters we can pull from, which is any word character, A to Z, O to 9, underscore, a space, a slash, a period, and as many times as you can, actually as few times as you can, but as many times as needed. Then, go find a space, there's one white space, and a literal colon. And look at that, molecular weight. That's what we want. Now we have to read everything else. Because we've got molecular weight, but I don't know how much water weighs. Apparently about the same as water. I think we can do better than that. So, we're going to punch in real fast. I'd like to have a capture group, please. Not an empty one. I'd like potentially a negative sign, potentially a dot. Any numeric character. There are better ways of writing that, but this works for now. I might run into an E. Like down here. Negative 2.4182E to some garbage. Speaking of which, it could be a plus over there too. We have to be careful with pluses and minuses because they're also functional characters. So if they're not right in the right spot, they might do some funny things. So we'll put at the end there. Especially with dashes too. Right, because this dash at the center is not the same as this dash at the start. Then another plus. Alright, we're getting somewhere, but it hasn't found anything yet. Well, we're only partway through our mess right now. Because then I'd like another backslash, potentially a plus. Oh, I done something very wrong, haven't I? That's why. There might be spaces in front of the number. You think I would have noticed something so critical as there might have been spaces in front of the number? Backslash dash plus. And that capture group. What are you not liking? Why do you not like this number? Well, for our intents and purposes, that works, right? That gets everything and conveniently trims off all these units. Everything here is caught. But let's say I wanted something a little more exciting. Just for fun, what if I wanted the unit to? Well, now I might want that backslash S plus, and then maybe potentially a word character, a white space, or a slash. That none to as many times as needed. So it might be none. And then, end of the line. That's what that little, thing is there. Because, I mean, it would have worked if I want. I could have captured that chunk there. But the very least, let's drag this to the end of the line to make sure it actually terminates, except we've lost some properties down the way. Oh dear. Are they super critical? Do we need them? Do we care enough about them? No, I don't think we do. So we're just gonna, honestly, I don't think that chunk there is needed. We can trim it out, and this actually does work. There are some people who might scream at the RegEx expression and haven't terminated it properly, but look, it works. For what we're doing, that's what's lesson 1 of engineering, it works. So we're gonna take this and we'll be back soon enough. Don't worry. We'll come back here, and we're going to pop in a few extra things here. The first thing is, in order to save a bit of sanity and not have to constantly write this regular expression, I'd like the regular expression pattern, please, for whatever I've designated S4. I'm reading off my notes, and I actually don't know what that S stands for. It stands for something. I think it's single, because there's single properties. Regular expressions, and then dot compile. So we're going to get regular expressions working, and I'd like, of course you don't, R parentheses, that chunk there, and I need you multi-line. Because it needs to do line per line, and that'll tell us. Please do it line per line. Now, that's one of the two, which is good, but it didn't catch anything down here. Well, there are ways to kind of do that. So we have that down. We don't need that. Since you've kind of had a quick run through what all the characters mean, we're gonna speed through this one much faster. Except I actually want you. Actually, get rid of multi-line, I believe is what the condition was. And then we will need capture group, so W, centric space, as needed, end, and this will get us something in good time. Then to be followed by a backslash, other slash, as specifically it has to have a white space character, I guess the word character, as many as needed. And then we actually need to find line termination, new line, end, as many times needed, and then specifically the word equation. Yes, that one. Thank you. And dot to match any single character. But any single character per time is needed, but only as many times as needed, please. And then I need to find coefficients and a second capture group, which it's not liking because it's not complete. And then not line break as many times as needed to terminate. I've done something wrong here. Okay. What have I done here that... Star equation dot star coefficients should be matching that. Alright. Or... no, you don't need that. I thought this is a very slim mistake I've made somewhere. Okay. To save my... to kind of... That... that's closer. I wish I remembered settings I used to make it work here. No? Multi-line? No. Because it should be picking up liquid viscosity, but it's instead picking up the next space? Okay, what if I, to save us some time, take out the exact reg expression it should be using and paste it in. It's... what is your difference? Oops! I used the wrong slash. Classic coding mistake. Wrong slash. Okay. Crisis averted, everyone. We have a functioning regular expression. And we're going to go ahead for our coefficient reg expression pattern. Another compile, please. And let's give it an R for that. And I read that. And we need a regular expression dot all, which is the same thing as a single line global, as opposed to the multi-line global we had for the first one around. So with that, that is the entirety of regular expressions. I suppose that it wouldn't be fair unless I showed you how it works. So we'll come in here and we'll do with this code. Oh, and we'll run this, of course, as it won't like me. And we'll say, if it doesn't break there, we'll call it s_props. And we'll make that a dictionary. And we'll say s_rexpat. Find all, thank you, text.text. And we'll see what funny ideas it has for what this should look like. Hopefully something legible and not this. Alright, I've got high hopes in you, S-props. What have you got? Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a dictionary. So what it's done, it's gone ahead and it's actually, if you have noticed, it's put them in pairs. Each one had group 1, group 2. Group 1, group 2. If I took it back to the old one, that actually looked a little bit cleaner. This has got some fun ones we'll have to deal with. A bit of that. Wrong flagpoles. Multi-line, please. You'll notice group 1, group 2. That's exactly what it wants for dictionary. Group 1, the name. Group 2, the value. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a dictionary. It's what Python was made for. I'd say that's good progress. So with that, we can check off regular expressions from the to-do list. And the next part will be in class. And so will the data.